don't want to stand by me?
What's the matter? You think I'm sneaking up on you?
I didn't know. I thought
Jerk
you was
around
leaving.
there.
You was like... So today, Matt and I are doing something we've never done before. Right.
Blowing up the canner.
Blowing up the canner, maybe. I hope not.
Nah.
But we're going to can some dried beans. I've still been on my endeavor of going through the house and decluttering. And this is not that we need to declutter the beans to get rid of them, but it's something that we wanted to do, was to can some of them, especially some of the ones that we grew, just so that they'd be on the shelf and ready to eat. And we've always really wanted to do the soup beans too, but we've never managed to do it somehow. But today's the day, right?
Today's the day.
Today's the day. My friend Ginger has been canning them, and she's been trying to tell me forever, like, Tipper, it's so easy if you do it that way. Then you don't have to, if it's the end of a long, hard day of work and you want beans and cornbread, you don't have to worry about cooking them. Of course, now we could use the Instapot. But she said it's just so easy to open a can. So, I think you're on board with this, right? Yes?
On board with what?
With canning you agree with me, everything I said?
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, yeah.
Anyway, when we started searching for how to do it, we seen recipes that where you, now I'm going to keep getting tickled, where you soak the beans and then cook them, but that seemed like way too complicated, didn't it, to us? Yeah. So then we seen that our friend Miss Lori at Whippoorwill Hollow, that she has a video about it. So we watched hers, and she doesn't soak hers and doesn't cook them, so we're like, okay, then we're going to do them just like Miss Lori does. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to link to her video though, so you can go and watch her, because I'm sure me and Matt will do something slightly different or something like that, so you get it straight from the person that really knows what she's doing. But we've got several different kinds. These are the ones that we grew this year that were the Canarly, I think is what they were called, beans. And then we've got the Painted Pony that we grew. Very little of those left, but we're going to do those. We've got some, this was actually some that we grew, and that's just kind of got mixed up together. So it's got rattlesnake beans, which are kind of like soup beans. It's got a few of the Painted Ponies and a few other things in there. Just kind of got mixed up. I just wrote on the bag, mixed beans. And then this is one of the ones that I ordered from the Rancho Gordo people. That was Jacob's Cattle. It was just such a really pretty bean. I can link to that video so that you can go and watch it. And then these others are just a type of soup bean, just a brown bean. So the first thing, I've already got our jars ready and our taps and our rings and all that, is that we're just going to start putting the beans in. And the way Miss Lori explained it made sense for me and Matt. She just did pints because it's just her and Mr. Brown at home now. Well, the same thing. Katie doesn't like beans like we do, so she won't be eating them. And then if Corey and Austin, so I was thinking about Corey, if they eat with us, then I could just open 2 jars and there'd be plenty. So that made more sense for us to do it that way. And if we do the pints, we just need a half a cup of beans in each one. Right, Matt? You got to keep me on track. And a half a teaspoon of salt. And then when it come time to, if you think about seasoning them, Miss Lori said that a lot of people said, well, couldn't you put ham? Could you put all those things in it? Well, you can. But she said her suggestion was if you did that, to go ahead and do the quart size, because you would need to do them for the, what was it, Matt, 90 minutes? And then that would get your meat okay too, if you did your meat for 90 minutes. But for the pints, you only do them about 75 minutes. Was that it? So you don't do them as long enough that you would need for the meat. Now you may do yours different. That's the thing about canning, is that so many people do different things differently. Me and Matt do a lot of our things differently. Some of it's called I learned in the last 2 years is rebel canning. In other words, it's not exactly like the FDA, or who is that? USDA? What's that called? Somebody, one of them that would tell you how to do it. It's not exactly like what they would say. So you might do yours like this and put meat in it, and that's perfectly fine. We're just going by what she said. But what we did think about was, we don't want to put any meat in it, but maybe we want it to be seasoned, was about putting a little bit of bacon grease in each one. What do you think if we decided we're going to do that? Maybe at least a few of them or something?
Yeah. And bacon grease ain't never hurt nothing.
You could as long as the beans are, I mean, you know, once they're canned and you get them off the shelf, then you could season them. You could certainly, you know, thinking about putting them in a salad, something like that, making chili out of them, putting them in a soup, all those kind of things. Then maybe you wouldn't necessarily want them flavored. Anyway, so I guess first we're just going to start filling them. You want me to get you a little, do we need a little funnel?
Yeah.
Would that be easier?
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got 2 funnels, and they both are old and kind of wrinkly, but I think they were your Miss Cindy's, but maybe even your grandmother's, seems like I remember.
They come from somebody, but they're old.
Okay.
Which one first?
Just whatever you want to do, go right ahead. You just do you and I'll do me. I'm going to do these little ones first and get rid of them. And I've got a 1/4. Since I don't.
Salt in first or second?
You can do it either way you want to. I'm going to put all those. That might be a little bit more than a half, but hopefully it'll be okay. And then we'll have to think about if we're going to put the other stuff in them. Is yours going fast? I may not have enough beans. I may have to get some more. I'll try some of these. Go ahead. You could leave the salt out too if you don't want to do the salt. Maybe it'll be just right. Or I may have some few extra. I may have to do some more jars. I should have measured as I went, but I didn't do that. I just guessed. Guesstimated. That's it, yeah. That's it. Do your... Oh, and another thing that me and Matt are going to try that we've never done, I put it in all of mine over here, so just yours, is that we are going to try to stack our pint jars in our canner. Miss Lori does that, and then I've searched around, and a lot of other people do that too, so we're going to try. We've never tried that before. Most of the time we don't do pints, do we? We usually do quarts.
Usually the only time we do pints is when we run low and won't fill a quart.
Yeah, or I mean, you know, if I'm making pickles or jellies or something like that, we do. But as far as pressure cannons, usually just full quarts. Okay. Now, what are we going to do about the? What do you think about the bacon grease? Should we try that or not?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean,
And how much would you do?
I'll just do that here. I mean, it won't take much.
That's 1/4 of a teaspoon.
I mean, you can do more if you want, but I think with the amount of beans that's in there, and you do, I think that'll season that amount of beans.
Oh yeah, I think so too. It might even be too much. Maybe we don't want to do them all. We done. Let's see. Let's do all the ones that are like the pintos and the rattlesnakes. Or do you think I should just do them all? What do you think? Or maybe do some of both and see what we like?
I guess. I mean,
that'd be an easy way to know. We know all the brown ones have
right.
the, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now I've got the, I'll let you do the water. And Miss Lori said, I think it was like the usual 1/2 inch headspace.
The problem is I can't see.
A little bit more. That's good.
About right.
Matt and I have been canning a long time, of course, but we've never done this. And I liked Miss Lori's she's always real encouraging, but I liked in this video she said that if you had never canned before and wanted to try something, this was like one of the easiest. She thought the easiest was the beans, the dried beans. It was just so easy. which certainly the preparation work is, because your beans are dry. It's not like you got to break the green beans and all that. Although canning green beans are not hard either. Need some more water. Sure are pretty in their jars. I'm just doing this to get any little bubbles out, which I really don't think there's no bubbles in these, but just there's so much space in there. There's plenty of room for the water to seep in. It's really exciting. Are you excited at that? You'll be excited when you open a jar when you want some cornbread and beans, and it's easy to do.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Oh, we left one.
Didn't we?
Yeah, somehow. It's probably
That might do.
mixing you up while I was in your way. I think I should get these little floaters out too, I guess.
It's a little early though.
I don't know, I just wonder if it means they're bad beans.
Lean eggs.
What's true? Oh, the canner?
Yeah, I mean, you want me to start or
Yeah,
wait?
sure. No, go ahead. Start putting them in. Did I miscount in there? I wonder if I got one extra one. So Matt's using just another, what do you call those? Cannon, like a rack.
Yeah,
it's like what goes on the bottom in your canner. So he's using another one to make another level is what we're going to try. See what happens. So we were able to use the rest of the beans we had left over because I didn't count the jars right. So we needed 3 more jars, which that's good. So we were able to use them since I'd already got them out. That's good. And then also I opened another pack of the ones from Rancho Gordo and got a half a cup out of them to make enough for this jar. We're really lucky that we can do our canning out here on the porch, so in the summer it doesn't heat up the house. Today it wouldn't be so bad about heating it up, but it's nice to do it out here. So we've got the canner going. Miss Lori describes how she starts off the canner with like room temperature water, room temperature jars, room temperature everything, and that's kind of what we do anyway. So, but we're doing it today, but that's what we normally do. I know a lot of people, try to get their canner going heated already and get the jars heated and everything before they start. So that's an option, of course. If you want to do it that way, you're more than welcome to. But if you watch Miss Lori's video, she kind of talks about that a little bit. Now we've just got to wait for it to come up to pressure and then let it go for 75 minutes.
And then another day shot.
Yeah, that's how life is.
And then wham bam, you're old and in the nursing home. Nobody will come to see you. And then your grandyoungins don't even know they got grandparents. And you just wither away and it's over with. And, the closer you get to that, the more precious this time becomes. That,
I don't hardly
fleet it away.
I don't hardly think it's all that dire circumstances.
Okay, go.
Well, we got the beans. They're still going. How much longer they got? Just
About
20 minutes or so.
About 30 minutes.
So I hope we're gonna like it. I think we will.
I think so. You can smell it. It smells good.
It smells good out on the porch. It smells nice out there. It smells like supper. Although we do have a good supper. Matt made us a big pot of cabbage soup. He's gonna make some cornbread to go with it. And that's gonna be delicious. We've already been nibbling on the soup, me and him. But it's awful good.
Tolerable.
I think it's really good. What did you put in it? People are gonna ask. What did you put?
Well, first of all, I didn't go by any recipe whatsoever.
Matt never does. He just makes it up as he goes.
It was just cabbage and celery, onions, carrots, potatoes, water, beef broth, And then I seasoned it with the salt and pepper and a little bit of oregano, a little bit of garlic powder, and a little bit of red wine vinegar and a little bit of brown sugar. And then just let all that cook and marry, as my daddy says. And then turn it off and let it begin to cool, and then we'll turn it back on. And there may be a technical term for this, but I don't know it because I'm
You're not
uneducated. Something about that cooling down and reheating back up makes it taste even better as far as I'm concerned. So maybe it'll be good.
No, it will. I've already tasted it. It's good. And a cake of cornbread to go with it, and that'll be just a meal by itself.
Big old pot, we can eat on it for a day or two.
It's going to be awful tempting, though, not to open a jar of those beans and just taste them with the cornbread. We could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could mix them up in your soup or whatever.
We'll just dump that cabbage out and eat that.
No, I'm not going to dump the cabbage out. I've done tasted it. It's good. It is. That would be a good use, though, thinking about those beans will be sitting on our shelves. We'll probably eat most of them just with cornbread. That's just what we like. But you could add them to soups like that. If Matt was making soup, just open a can and pour them in, or all kinds of things.
Chili.
Yeah, chili.
I don't like all chili recipes call for kidney beans, and I just don't like kidney beans because you can cook them till next Christmas and they ain't no different. And I don't like that.
I like kidney beans.
I just don't like them, and they're like eating I don't know what, and it's like they got a skin on them that slipped like on a hog, and I just don't like that.
Well, you can use some of these for your chili.
Yeah, and I've done that before. I mean, not home canned ones because this is the first time we're doing it, but I have used pinto beans in them quite a bit, and I've also used like Great Northern beans, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
I like Great Northern beans. That's one of my very favorites.
I like them okay. I like beans. I like, what do they call it? What are they actually, legumes?
Well, once again, I'm uneducated, and I don't know that fancy words that you're using, but maybe so.
I don't know either. But I like beans. We eat a lot of beans. We eat a lot of green beans for sure. But we eat beans like soup beans, dried beans, soup beans, and things too.
I like them.
Yeah. Makes up a big part of our diet for sure. Beans would be right at the top.
Yeah, and then just for future reference, and then you'll have this video to go back on so that I can have proof of I said this.
Okay.
When we have soup beans and cornbread, I really like to have side meat and green onions, and maybe those hot tomato pickles all with it too. So just file that away for when you cook them.
Are you making a statement like that we can't have them without that? Is that what kind of statement you're making?
Oh, well, they just so much better with it, is what I'm saying.
They are. They are. We could start planting onions pretty quick.
Yeah.
You got to do that. Add it to our long list. And then today we're like, let's can beans.
Yeah, just out of the blue.
We could have been doing other things, but let's just can beans. We've always wanted to.
We had that thought at lunchtime.
Yeah, that's true. We had that thought at dinner time, yeah. I am like that, though. I'm not really a procrastinator in that I don't just do something because I'm watching a movie or reading a book or something like that, but I procrastinate by saying, there's this other stuff that if I need to do something, I don't want to do it, I might say, we really need to clean all the windows. And it's more work than what I'm trying to actually avoid that I just don't want to do. So I guess there was a little bit of that going on today, like we should be outside doing this or that. But, we could can beans. We've never done that before. Don't that sound like fun? And see, I could even say it's part of my cleaning out, decluttering, because now those will be like just ready to eat out of my shelves.
Well, if you want to phrase it that way, that's fine.
You're not like that with your procrastination?
I don't generally, on much things, do much procrastinating. But I'm drug into the procrastination of others.
Are you?
Yeah. And multiple others is what I'm getting at.
So I'm like, I really need to do our taxes, work on all that, but then I'm like this, like, well, but I really would like to, go outside and work in the garden or like do the beans or whatever, when I should just go do that and have it done.
Now, I am procrastinating a little bit on this shed. I will admit that, just simply because I ain't all the way decided if that's exactly what I want to do, and it's muddy and wet anyway, and I'm going to do it, but I'm trying to give myself plenty of time to roll around in my head to be sure how I want to do it and where I want to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's as you should.
So that is constructive procrastination.
That's what I was going to say. That's not really procrastination, but I guess that's it. That's constructive.
Yeah.
Well, see,
sounds good anyway.
Mine could be called efficient procrastination because I'm getting all that other work done. I'm just not doing the work that needs to be done. So like today we'll be like, look at all these jars of beans on our shelves, but I didn't do the taxes and we didn't work outside. Are you thinking you hear something strange going on?
I just need to go check that thing.
I'll go check and then come back.
Yes,
All's well.
Yeah, I'm just pretty psychotic about the canner.
Could it be because your grandmother let them blow up too many times?
Yeah, she blew them up multiple times from what I'm told. And you could see the shrapnel on the ceiling in her house as evidence of it, and that's what everybody, my uncles and my daddy and everybody said that's what it was from. And Mama told me too that she blew
She'd get
several
busy
of them
and just forget about them and let them keep going and going and going.
Well, she would, not particularly a canner, but a smaller pressure pot that she used it a whole lot. And she'd put something on it for supper and get it going, and then go out in the garden and start gardening and forget about it and cook all the liquid out of it, and then it would slide off, bounce around the floor and spit all its stuff all over the ceiling.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I can see me doing that, but I would have only done it once, I think.
Yeah, I think one time would do me, and I've never done it yet, but I am I'll keep a close eye on the thing, especially on gas. They tell you not to even use them things on gas, but I think it's fine. It's just the gas is hotter, and it takes a little more regulating of the flame to get it to stay at a constant heat and pressure where you want it. And I'm pretty anal about that.
So if our thing is successful, which I think it will be, our canning today, we've learned how to can the beans, and that'll be really nice to have on the shelves and just be able to open them. But then also using that little, what do you call it? Like a divider,
It's just a canning rack.
Canning rack. Using that rack to double the space in it. That's like awesome too.
Yeah, you can't do it with quarts in that
No.
canner, but you can barely do it with pints. There's that much room left, but that's enough.
Now let's hope they don't blow up.
Well, so far they ain't. They've been going for about 40 minutes. So.
Matt used to work with a gentleman that had a canner that he could do quarts, stack quarts in. I guess, I don't know. I'm sure y'all know about them, but that would be
one of them.
That would be nice, yeah.
As much canning as we do.
To do them all like thinking about in the summer when we're doing a big cannon of green beans, we have to do one canner and let it cool off enough to get them out and then do the next. So yeah, if you could do, what would that be, 14 quarts at a time or something? Or he told you he could do 21.
He said he had a canner that would do 21.
Wow.
I've never seen one of those, and I'd like to, if there is such a thing, I would like to buy one.
I don't know.
What'd be heavy?
Yeah, I don't know how you'd lift it. I mean, I guess you would lift it. You'd have to put the stuff in it.
Take everything to where you're cooking it and put it in.
Yeah, but that would be neat. But it'll be neat if we figure out we've done this.
No, I think it's going to be fine. I mean, if we can can meat, we can definitely can dried beans, and we've canned meat for years.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know that part will be okay. I'm just wondering about the stacking part, if that would be okay. But I guess I believe Miss Lori, and that's how she does it. So I'm sure that it'll be just fine, and we'll be enjoying our beans. I'll have to share them with Granny. She never canned any kind of dried beans like that either, but she eats a lot of beans, so she'll be really excited about that if she likes them, if they turn out good and she likes them. She'll really, really love that.
I guess you could. And some of them, I guess, were. You could just buy beans and can them. couldn't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
mean-
Some of those were store bought, yeah, and some of them were ours.
You know, especially not only if you'd had them a while and you need to use them, you could can them to preserve them, but you could also, if you wanted a whole lot of something, just go buy the dried beans and bring them home and can them.
Yeah, and then do your year's worth of beans or something like that,
Right.
if you knew how much your family used.
Right.
Miss Lori said now some people do soak them and then even cook them, but some people I guess just soak them. There's all variations, like I said. But she said for her, she thought that they stayed firmer if you just do them dried into the jar like we're doing. So that sounded good to us, that part. But yeah, really gonna feel accomplished. I feel I should go do our taxes, and I'd feel more accomplished about that.
You've done so good with this, just jump right on it.
I know. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do the stuff that you dread first, and
Yeah.
then it's over with.
Yeah.
But I don't do that.
Most people don't.
Like I said,
Remember
I just start doing all kinds of crazy things just to prevent doing what I need to do. You remember what?
That's what your daddy always said. Anything that you dread doing, you don't want to do, just get up first thing and just jump right in the middle of it and do it. Do you remember hearing him say that?
Yeah,
I've heard him say
yeah,
that
yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah.
And back then, I didn't take it as like I would now because I'm older and he's right. If you dread it and you don't want to do it and you're putting it off, just quit putting it off and jump in there and do it.
I know. And it's usually never as bad as what you think it is.
Right.
You know, never.
Unless you're giving a speech or something.
Yeah.
And I don't do no speechifying.
Well, you're speechifying right now.
Yeah, but that's different.
If I'm talking about Appalachia, it don't bother me. Now, if I had to go talk about something else, it probably would. But I'm okay, usually, just to talk about that.
Well, you know it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You could probably go give one about hunting or something.
Maybe, I don't know. Probably get lifed out at my practices.
No. That's the best way to do stuff.
Yeah, the way you like to do it.
The way you like to do
I
it.
heard a fella say that one time.
Well, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking awful rainy outside. It's rained on and off all day, but it's getting pretty dark right now.
It's getting ready to do some raining.
We've had much warmer temperatures, but I hear that the cold is coming back, which
Is it?
we figured it would. Yeah, I heard it was. I don't know if it is or not, but next week I heard the cold's supposed to come back.
Cold or just normal?
Probably more normal, not that
yeah.
terrible cold, but yeah. But it's been pretty
Been pretty nice.
pretty nice, yeah, pretty nice. Katie's spying on us. Are you spying?
Just checking on you.
We're still here. We ain't so old you gotta check in every 5 minutes on us yet.
Okay, I'll come back later.
Okay,
A few years when you're older.
okay.
She's checking up on us, ain't she?
Yeah, she's still breathing.
Oh, goodness. We really enjoyed our live that we had with everyone this past week. That was really fun, and we've not done that in so long, and we'd like to, maybe we'll try to do it again, and it was nice to chat with everybody. But the thing about the chat is it goes so fast, it's hard for us to read it. So if you were part of the live, you know, Katie was feeding us some of the questions, but I know that there's a lot of questions that we missed, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, it was just going so fast that just off the screen and gone.
Yeah.
And I can't see it anyway unless I put my glasses on that cross my eyes.
And then when you're answering one question, then you see another one, but then by the time you finish answering it, it's gone, and then you can't remember what it is. But another thing, it's been a long time since we did was a Q&A, like a question and answer for me and Matt. Mm-hmm. And if you've got some questions, or if we didn't answer your question during that, you could leave them in the comments below, and we'll try to do one of those. I think Corey and Austin recently did one. Mm-hmm. And those are fun to do because, of course, you have questions about us that we don't talk about all the time. A lot of people ask about our chickens, so I know you're going to ask about that. But our chickens, people say, why have you never showed them? We have showed them a few times here and there, like a day in the life and things like that. Showed getting the eggs or actually showed the chickens. But we've never done like a video on about like how to do chicken raising, chicken egg raising or whatever is because, like Matt said, we just do it to please ourselves. There's all kinds of people out there that can give you instruction on that, and just like anything else, though, the best thing is to kind of read it, get all that information, and then do it, and then see what works best for you.
And that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
I worked with a guy that had chickens, and he told me and showed me some stuff about it, and I actually got my first chickens from him.
Yeah.
And, that's just, we don't do it exactly like how things are done today. We do it like they did it 75 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just the way we do it, and it works, and that's that.
Yeah. But currently we don't have many chickens. We're at the point where we were at a point last year where we needed to get, ever so often you kind of get some new ones. If you don't have, like we don't have a rooster, so we can't raise our own eggs. But anyway, we needed to do that last year and we didn't. And we need to do it this year right now, immediately. But we're in the position where we don't want to do it till we can redo the chicken coop. So
Yeah, we want to just totally do away with that one and build another one in another location.
yeah.
Add that to the list.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, if you've got questions, other questions, whatever, ask them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to try to answer them in the next week or so, or something like that. You're getting close to your time to get them off.
Shortly.
Shortly. You're just looking at your watch like you forgot something.
I can't rest and relax till the canner's done and turned off. Then I can kind of.
And you can take it easy. I'm glad I've got Matt. He, most of the time, I do like all the prep stuff, which today, of course, he helped me. But, and then he handles once it's out there, he handles it, which is really nice. Thank you.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah. And not mine, because, of course, pressure canners are kind of scary.
Yeah, well, it's all mechanical, and that's why I take to it, that side of it so well. I mean, I like the growing and the cooking and all that stuff, but that part right there and the actual preserving and knowing how to get it preserved, and it's going to keep for quite some time, I like that. That's really, really cool.
I love putting up food like that and prepping it, and I love seeing it in the jars, and then I love, like Matt made the soup today, being able to go and get a jar off our shelves, to cook that, or if it's green beans, we've had green beans twice this week, probably. A jar of green beans for supper, or of course jellies and pickles and all that. It's really something really rewarding about that. You know where the food come from, and you know that you grew it, or maybe you went to the produce stand and got it or whatever, but it's really nice to put that stuff up. And in the long run, it's like the beans that we're doing today, that would be cheaper. You could buy dry beans cheaper than you could if you went and bought them already in the cans or whatever. So it'll save you some money. I don't know though, when you add in all the work it took to do the beans and the taking care of them, if you want to be paid for your time, I'm not sure about that, but it's totally worth it. I am sure about that.
Well, one good thing about it is from the point of you getting them ready and getting them in the jars, the actual, all that in the canning process itself, how it was handled.
Yeah,
How,
that's true.
It didn't, you don't, anything you buy, you don't know how it's handled, don't know what's done with it. You just don't know.
No,
because you wasn't there.
Right.
But when you put it up yourself.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
That's just good. It's just kind of extra insurance in your head to know that it was done correctly and there's nothing bad in it.
Right, yeah.
And as long as the jar is sealed, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. And the more you do it, if you're somebody that's never canned much or made jelly or any of, even, if you water bath canning any of it, the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel doing it, of course.
Right.
And me and Matt both, though, grew up in families that did it, so kind of been doing it our whole lives in one form or another.
And even before we were doing it, we were eating it.
Yeah.
So we've been eating it absolutely our entire life.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're still here.
Yeah.
Never had any problem whatsoever.
Yeah. And I love the camaraderie too of, like, if it is a family that kind of pitches in and helps together. Like, I helped Granny and Pap, and Matt helped when he lived out here, but you helped your daddy, and Corey and Katie would help us, when they were younger. They'd help whatever we were doing. They had to pitch in and help too. And nice to think about that part of it, that aspect of it, kind of working together, because you know it's going to feed all of you.
Right.
And then, you know, now that we're grandparents, we're hopeful that the 2 little ones can learn too.
It'll be fun to turn around and look behind you, or it will be for me when I'm pulling out a row with a hoe and get one of them little boys to come on and start dropping them seeds in. Of course, they'll probably scatter them all over the place. But
Yeah. I've got
anyway, that's the beginnings of teaching them, you know, where their food comes from.
Right. I've got one of my just pictures that I just love. I took it, but it was of Pap, my daddy, and my nephew Ben. He was the first grandson in Granny and Pap's family. So to say he was spoiled by all of us is an understatement. He was. But anyway, Daddy, it's the end of the growing season, and he's in the garden down there. You can see like the corn stalks are all brown and all that. But he's digging taters, and Ben's down there with him. And Ben's I was really taking the picture of Ben at the time. I probably wasn't even thinking about Daddy, but I'm so glad he's in it. But Ben's got a stick or something. But it's really a great little snapshot of him being, like Matt said there, he's really too little to do anything, but he's there with Pap in the garden.
Yeah.
You know, right in the dirt, in the tater row. So that's nice. Now we got some rain coming.
Yep. Rain hard.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you stopping by today to visit with us. We hope you enjoyed seeing us can beans for the first time, stack jars for the first time, and we'll be sure to let you know how it turned out. And we're always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia. And one more thing, I know that a lot of you do can beans, so tell us, do you put meat in them? Do you put bacon grease? Do you just leave them plain? Tell us how you do it. And do you leave them dry like we did, or do you soak them? We love to learn, so please share your methods and what you do.
It'll fog you if you're close. We better hope that there's no
Yeah, we hope there's no breakage. Well, everything looks good. Oh, it smells so good. It smells delicious.
Did you get a towel?
No, but I will. I can't resist. Ooh, those look pretty, yeah. Let me see that one. Ooh, those look nice. Those look like they got a little dunner. Probably a softer bean.
You gotta show one of these to your daughter.
Okay. I almost wonder if we could have put a little more in them.
Seems like they've got a bunch of liquid on them, but we're just learning.
That one looks fuller, but some of them I did put a few extra in that I just wanted to get rid of the ones that was left in the bowl. That one looks good.
That'll be nice later on. Probably nice to see when you're gonna eat one.
Yeah, I think we should open one. Which one?
Now, that's gonna be hot.
Those look great.
I do, don't they? We have to do this again because we'll have these eat before a hot water.
Oh, I know. But now we know how easy it is to do. I'm trying to figure out, we should have wrote on them, but I think we can tell which was which, so we'll know what we like, what worked out. I do think we could have put a little bit more in some of them, though.
No, for the next time. Some of them rings is loose too.
So we're going to call this a success on the beans, and then a success on layering them 2 jars deep. So by layering them, we were able to do 18 pints. That is so amazing. I can't believe we never knew that. Thanks to Miss Lori. Now we do. We couldn't resist opening a jar, put it on the soup that Matt made, and this is my second bowl. It is so good. Corey and Austin are here eating, and they both said the beans were delicious too, so I'm so glad we did this. I just don't know why we waited so long.